Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gland Bodybuilding Mountain. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about escalating volume and intensity and de-escalating volume and intensity. So one thing that I found that I do, at least, in order to switch things up, or also in order to get interested in training or more interested, is that I will vary things around quite a bit. Meaning that sometimes I will be doing a very strict structure as far as I'm going to get this many sets in per body part, and I'm going to do this type of intensity of weight. Maybe it's heavier weight or whatever, getting 10 to 12 reps with something, or 8 to reps or whatever. But what I'm going to say is that it is good to go through periods of time where your effort is not maximal. Now, I just had somebody in the comments talk about this, and it's not something that I really valued much when I was a younger guy. Like when I was in my 20s and stuff, I didn't really care as far as doing the easy workouts. It was like go hard or go home type idea. But the one thing you will notice is that if you follow the go hard or go home principle, you'll be going home a lot more than you probably need to. You know what I'm saying? Because not only is it hard to get motivated to go hard or go home, right? Because sometimes, you just don't have the energy for it, or your body's trying to tell you something and you need to adjust. But also, there are times where you may have certain tweaks or certain issues going on, or certain calibration issues, such as the lower back and the hips and the knees functioning right, or the elbows and the shoulders and the rotator cuff functioning right. And if you just go hard or go home at any cost, you're not necessarily going to be doing necessary work in order to recalibrate certain areas that need that, right? So I've found that sometimes just by going lighter and just going through the motions with something and just being very conscious of the movement, that there have been some rehabilitative effects from that, such as, some area that was kind of tweaked or doesn't feel quite right, all of a sudden started to heal more efficiently than if I didn't do anything at all. Because I've done this experiment a lot, where sometimes I've taken time off training and not did anything at all when a certain area didn't feel right. And I noticed that when I came back, a lot of times the body part was not necessarily, let's just say it was never injured in the first place, it just needed a recalibration, right? So if your shoulder's sitting weird in the joint, sometimes you'll get sort of symptoms from that. You may get some sort of pinching sort of symptom, or maybe an elbow issue, or maybe your strength is not quite as good as it usually is. Sometimes it's a calibration issue where everything needs to be perfectly on rails, as they say. It's like a train on a railway track. When everything is functioning properly, then everything is moving smoothly. So this is why I'd recommend, definitely doing the hard workouts, sometimes doing the high volume workouts. Like yesterday I did 10 sets of bench press with 245, and I just basically was going to failure every set, but really feeling that muscle and stuff. But usually I'm only doing about 4 to 6 sets for a body part. But the odd time, what I will do is I will escalate the volume. I will start pushing on purpose to super saturate an area and push the limit. And then what I will do is I will back off on that much volume, right? So I may do that for 2 or 3 workouts, and then I'm like, okay, good, enough of that. Now I'm going to back off on the volume, and then maybe do a higher intensity of weight. Maybe I'll do some heavier weight, but for less sets. Or maybe I'll return back to the Body Bliss type of program that I have on my website, right? Where I will do just super light weights, going through the motions now, and now it's more calibration workouts. You see? So not every workout is about muscle mass. I guess that's really my point. Some workouts are going to be about recalibrating the body and making sure that it's functioning right and healing properly, or giving it active rest. So if you have some sort of area that does need healing, you're basically helping pump blood in there so it's healing at a faster rate. And then there will be workouts where you're on purpose trying to push through and find out where that limit capacity is for the body, right? What is the limits of its recuperation ability? So is there a cold hard sort of way of doing this? I don't know. I just kind of go with where my motivation is. For 2 or 3 weeks at a time, if everything's going really well, I'll just use that passion and that fire to push hard in the workouts, maybe doing 5 or 6 sets. But when I started to notice that my motivation goes backwards, or I start to notice that there's something, it's almost like I feel like I've overdone a certain pathway where it feels like I'm just hitting a brick wall, where I'm not getting as good of a pump or as good a feeling, or I'm not as motivated to hit the gym, then I will change it. Then I will change to maybe a higher volume type, lighter weight type, pumping type workout. Or I may go to a calibration workout where I just feel like just squeezing the muscles and feeling my way through the process, right? But the main thing that this really will help you with is motivation. Because once you start to not have to fight joint pain or fight systemic pain or burnout all the time, you'll notice that it's more fun to play with the weights and it's more fun to show up to the gym. So that's really something that I will constantly return to. Sometimes I will say, screw looking like a bodybuilder. Who cares like how big and strong I am? Let's find a way to just enjoy this workout more. And then from there, I can build upon that foundation. So that's really what I have to say is like escalating and de-escalating volume and intensities can help you find a sweet spot, help you heal, and also help you constantly reestablish motivation in your training, and therefore you'll get more results in the long run because your consistency is going to be a lot better. Mountain. So thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgalantbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters. And if you like podcasts, tune into the Natural Galant Bodybuilding podcast. The link is in the description. Mountain. It's kind of awkward now. I don't really know what else to say.